Today we're going to talk about how Oxebridge is working with Factory QA to make AS9100 affordable to machine shops wanting to get into the aerospace industry. Hey everybody, I want to talk today about a project we're working on, and I'll be very quick about it. We'll have a longer bit about it soon, but very quickly what it is, it's called Factory QA. We're going to have a webinar next week. And the link to that will be in the description below. By the time you see this, that link may be gone by now. But so I'll give you a brief summary of what that project is. But it is pretty exciting. If you are a machine shop looking for AS9100 certification, this is the focus. So if you're a machine shop and you need AS9100, this is something you're going to want to pay attention to. Now, let's be honest. Right now, the United States is blowing up a lot of other countries. Now, no matter what you think of that, and I'm not particularly the fan of any of that, but no matter what you think about it, this has resulted in a burst of activity within the aerospace and defense industries. Right now, all of my clients that have AS9100 are seeing either an increase in business or an increase in the number of orders being presented to them from their existing clients. I have no client that has seen a reduction in the work they're getting within the aerospace and defense industry. And that is only likely to continue to increase. One of the requirements, however, to get in this business in the first place is that you must be either AS9100 compliant or certified. And now if you just claim compliance, that means that later the customer can check by doing a supplier audit. And if you lie about it, you're going to get caught. So that's why I usually recommend that companies get AS9100 certified. And I say that as a guy who really doesn't want to give any more work to the certification bodies who I don't particularly trust or like. But really, if you're going to get into AS9100, you really need to be certified and don't claim self-attestation or compliance. So again, you're going to see a tremendous influx and an increase in the amount of work in this area, and they're going to start requiring AS9100 and then its future iteration, which is called IA9100. You're going to need that in order to get into the business. The problem has been is that it's very expensive to do, and this is where the Factory QA project comes into play. So let's talk honestly about the costs of implementing an AS9100 quality management system for a typical machine shop, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. As I say a lot online now, I'm at an age where I simply don't care what I say anymore. And so I don't care if you like it or don't like it. I really don't. So I'm just going to tell you the truth, all right, which is a good thing, okay? The lowest cost that I can go to implement an AS9100 quality management system to get you ready for certification, okay? And that assumes that you have between 1 or 2 employees. You're a machine shop with only 1 or 2 employees. The lowest I could go is around $15,000. And it's going to be more like probably 17 because we really need to do an internal audit on site. So then you're going to be talking about some expenses involved, right? Because there's a minimum amount of work you have to do no matter what. If you're 1 employee, it doesn't go down to 0. You have to do the same amount of work, right? So, or at least I have to do the same amount of work. Now it goes up from there. If you're around a 50-person employee, 100 employee shop, that type of thing, now you're up around, the 20-something thousand. Usually not over 25, but you could see 21, 22,000. That's just for the implementation portion. That's if you hire me. You then need to pay your certification body on top of that. That comes afterwards. That's a lot of chicken scratch, okay? For a small company and for machine shops who may not have a lot of overhead, that's a lot of money, and I get it. And so they scramble around trying to find grants and all sorts of other things to try to make this more affordable, and it's very difficult to do. Factory QA is going to cost $10,000. That's it. Okay? You are already at least half to a third less than me if you were to hire me to do it from scratch, even if you've got 50, 100 employees in your shop. All right? So this is insanely low. You don't know how low this price is, okay? This is pretty crazy. The reason, and I'm going to tell you why it is, okay? It's not a scam. The reason that this can be priced so low is because we intend to bring in companies in this program in bulk. We don't need to make millions of dollars on each client. The reason consultants in my field are charging $60,000 where I'm charging only, what did I say? Let's say 20, 15 to 20, and they're charging 60,000. Is because they don't have a lot of clients. And so when they look at their annual salary, maybe they get 3 clients a year. So they got to charge enough of each of those 3 clients to make their entire annual salary. And I don't. I have so many clients a year, I could charge each one less, which is why me at my rate are cheaper than most of the others. And now we're going even lower than that because we can offer this in bulk to companies. Now, you're going to find companies out there that are going to offer you AS9100 for less money than that. And let's talk about that because they are scams. And typically they're a scam of about 2 or 3 different types. The first one is that it's entirely fake. You contact the company, they give you an AS9100 quality manual, and then they give you a certificate. Maybe they do an audit, a fake audit too, but the same person is doing the consulting as they're doing the audit. That's what we call a certificate mill. That is fake. And the AS9100 certificate that they issue is fake. Now, you're going to see a lot of those offers, mostly coming out of India, Middle East, Turkey, and countries like that. They may have offices in the United States. They're usually fake addresses. Usually they're fake addresses with fake people and fake testimonials, and the whole thing is fake. But it'll be super cheap. You might even buy a certificate for $500. But that certificate is not accredited within the IAQG scheme. So if you get caught with one of those certificates and your customer finds out, you'll not only lose your contract, the customer can report you for fraud and you can be debarred from all federal contracting forever. You can also face criminal penalties under the False Claims Act. So this is not something that you want to get involved in. Do not buy one of these scam certificates. The other scam that they have is that the upfront cost is low and then they lock you into some kind of very expensive support or subscription package afterwards, and you wind up paying a lot more money over a period of time than you would. Now, full disclosure, Factory QA has as an option a full online QMS portal. It has all the features, and it's very good, but it's not required for this project. You can go through the entire Factory QA project and build your QMS and go off and use your own. You can even use one of the competitors' programs if you want. You don't have to use Factory QA. We'd like you to, plus it's going to be priced at a lower, more competitive rate than the other guys anyway. But it's not a requirement. There's no fine print there that says, oh, by the way, you paid your $10,000 and now you're going to be spending $30,000 a month on some program. Doesn't happen. But that's a risk you face with the other people. Now, the webinars that we're having are going to be explaining this in more detail, but I'll give you the super short picture on how Factory QA actually works. What it is there's going to be an AI-assisted method to create your quality management system documentation. Right now, you've got the option of going on the Oxebridge website and downloading the entirely free kit, and you can still do that. We're not taking that away. But you have to do the work. You have to customize those documents, otherwise you're going to fail your audit. With the Factory QA, the first stage is that the AI will interview you and customize those documents for you. And all of it is based on the Oxbridge template kit, except that we actually have some newer stuff that's not in the current kit that you can see now. So the stuff in Factory QA is more advanced and more modern, but now you're using AI to assist you in creating the documents. However, unlike the other guys who are all running around saying they have AI QMS programs, we're not saying that's it. We're admitting that AI alone will only result in a quality management set of documentation that is okay, it's all right. And our goal is to make it excellent. But right now, AI is not there. Okay, even with the best models we have, it's okay. Well, that may not be good enough to pass an audit. This is why we have what we call human in the loop, HITL. The human in the loop factor says that after you run the software and after you've customized your documentation to the best extent you can with the AI assist, now the humans step in and we help you build that QMS and tailor your documentation and train you on what you need to do to improve it at that point. And we do that through a 10-week training program, which sounds scary, but it's only a few hours per week. With a couple exceptions, we will be including my 12-hour internal auditor class for AS9100, and there's a few other classes that are probably over that, management overview and some other things, the risk stuff, but most of the classes are only about an hour each. So you commit a few hours per week over a 10-week period, and at the end of it, you'll have a customized set of documentation, you'll understand the documentation, you'll know how to use it, and you'll know how to use your actual system to drive improvement. And we will train you on how to do your own internal audit, so we don't have to come in and do it. You're not paying airplanes or any of that stuff. You can do your own internal audit, and you'll be fully ready for that third-party auditor in just that 10-week period or so. Now just think about that. If you were to hire me to do it from scratch, even I'm not doing 10 weeks of training, okay? My programs include about a half an hour of training for all your hands, all staff, and then a handful of hours here and there for top management, the quality manager, that sort of thing. Certainly not giving you all of that training in my program. So you're paying only $10,000 for something that's way cheaper than if you hired me, and you're getting way much more for less, which sounds crazy. But again, it makes sense when you think about we're going to be bringing in companies in bulk, right? So we'll be making our money over time, and that's how it'll work. Now, when we're done, you're still going to have to hire that certification body. And unlike the other scammers out there, we're not going to tell you what certification body to use. You can use whoever. We have a few we might recommend, but I want to be clear. We're not making money from any of them. They're not giving us any finder's fees or anything like that. And we kind of don't care, okay? The only thing we'll guide you on is making sure you get an accredited certification body that is allowed to legally issue an AS9100 certificate and not one of those fake guys. But otherwise, we don't care who you use. Here's the other thing, though. We're not offering any guarantees. I'm going to tell you this, and you're not going to believe me, but I'm going to say it. All of the consultants out there who are offering some kind of guarantee are engaged in business-to-business fraud. It's illegal. They can't do it. Go ahead and sue me, and I'll bring you to court, and I'll prove it, okay? The reason they're saying that is one of a few things. One, they don't know how it works. They don't actually have an experience to know how an audit works. Two, they have a deal with the auditor. So they know they're going to pass because it's their buddy, and maybe they exchange you cash, maybe they're just buddies, they're drinking buddies, but there's something going on there where they know that auditor is lazy and going to come in and pass them. Both of those are types of fraud, and if you get caught, you're going to get in tremendous amounts of trouble. This is because no consultant can ever know what is going to happen during an audit. The auditor could show up drunk. The auditor could show up and have a mental breakdown. I've seen that happen twice. The auditor could write bogus nonconformities. The auditor might not show up at all. You have no idea. So how can a consultant guarantee when they can't control the behavior of that auditor? That is why it's impossible, and that's why when they make those guarantees, it is fraud. We're not going to do that. But here's what we are going to do. We're going to help you resolve any of the third-party findings free of charge, because that we can do, right? And so let's say you go through your audit and the CB auditor comes in and finds a couple of findings and you're in a panic. I got to tell you, don't panic. I've seen everything. I've been at this 26 years, for God's sake, and going back even more than that. Anything they throw at you, I've got a solution for, and it's going to take me like 5 or 10 minutes to come up with a solution. Plus, you've got the other guys at Factory QA to help. So, I mean, this is not hard stuff to do. If you get written up with a finding, we'll help you fix it. If it's a completely bogus finding, we'll even help you challenge it if we need to. But all of those are on the table. But we're not going to guarantee you're going to pass. What we're going to do is guarantee that we'll help you close the findings, so at that point you can pass. So if you're a machine shop and you want to get into the aerospace industry and you need AS9100 or IA9100 certification, this is probably the program for you, okay? But now you have a range of options. If you don't want to spend any money at all, go download my free template kit. You don't even have to add an email address or anything, and you do all the work yourself. But the risk is all yours, and we can't know what you're doing because we're not involved. That's an option. You spend $0, but you do all the work yourself. The second option will be now Factory QA with this human in the loop option. You use the AI to help build your documents, but then there's 10 weeks of us training, customizing your documents, performing all the training that you possibly could need, getting you prepared for that third-party audit. And that is the $10,000 option. And then the final option is, of course, you don't want to do any of that. You want to hire a consultant direct. You hire a consultant, whether that's me or somebody else. My producer's telling me it has to be me. If you're watching this, you have to hire me. So you have to hire me, and then I charge you $1 million, whatever. And we do it that way. And again, keep in mind, if you do use the Factory QA, you're going to have two options. You can take the 10-week class with the customized documentation. You get all your documentation. You take your training. We'll give you certificates, and you walk away. Alternatively, you can also subscribe to the Factory QA system, which will include your calibration module, preventive maintenance, internal audits, management review. It's got ballooning. It's got everything in it. Purchasing controls, all of that stuff. Your training modules, everything in there if you want it. And again, the cost is going to be slightly less than probably what other people are charging, but it's not required. And all of that will come with, we help you with any kind of audit findings you get when you go through your first certification audit. So if all of that sounds cool, we'll go through more details in the webinar next week. The link is in the comments below. And if it's already past that time and you're still interested, just write me, contact me, and I'll get you some more information. I'll connect you directly with Factory QA, or maybe I can answer the questions, but I hope you'll consider it. So thanks a lot.